And in this video, I thought I would kind of walk you through some of the big picture concepts that you'll learn starting from algebra and all the math that you have to learn to get ready for calculus. So we're going to just take a quick look for those of you out there that are, wondering, hey, what math do you have to take in order to start from algebra? And algebra or algebra 1 is the most kind of typical math course that students would take, let's say, at the ninth grade high school level, right? So then they would move on in generally, I'm speaking in generality, but this is most people's track here. So as a freshman in high school, you start off in algebra or algebra 1. Then as a sophomore, 10th grade, you move on to geometry. Then in the 11th grade, you would take algebra 2. And then for those students that really want to, get ready for college level mathematics, you can opt in to like a pre-calculus course. There's other options for most students. Now, I will say this, the majority of high school students have to at least get through these courses here, algebra, geometry, algebra 2, okay? Even if you're not going to college, generally speaking, all right? So this is a pretty typical track for almost all students. Pre-calculus is only going to really be there for those students who are definitely going to college. There's other math that you could take, or maybe you don't even have to take a math class, maybe business math, consumer math, statistics, whatnot. But if you're looking to take calculus, you want to take pre-calculus, right? This is definitely a challenging course. And then you would move on finally to calculus as a freshman in college. This is a very typical kind of track. So these are the courses here that we're going to look at and just take a quick peek at what you learn in each of these, right? And I'm talking about a very fast overview. So let's go ahead and talk about algebra. So what do you learn in a basic algebra or algebra 1 course? Well, let's just kind of go through some main concepts here, all right? So first of all, you're going to be reviewing all the basics, stuff like what's a variable, the order of operations, all that kind of stuff from middle school and pre-algebra, real numbers, i.e. positive and negative numbers. You definitely have to know how to solve equations, what we call linear equations. You got to know how to graph lines. You got to know how to find the equation of lines, systems of linear equations. By the way, anything I'll mention here, if you don't really know, or if you're struggling with, check out my respective courses. Just follow the links in the description. Also, I have a ton of additional videos on all these topics on my YouTube channel. Okay, but we're just kind of highlighting the main kind of chapters in these courses. Let's go and continue on. Inequalities. Okay, you need to learn this in Algebra 1. Absolute value, inequalities, equations, powers, and exponents. You can see it's quite a bit of material. Polynomials, how to add polynomials, subtract, multiply, factoring polynomials, quadratic equations, quadratic formula, functions, relations, domain, range. Then you got rational expressions and equations, which is a pretty big deal right here. Got to learn how to find the lowest common denominator of rational functions, which is not exactly that easy. Well, it's not overly difficult, but it tends to confuse a lot of students. Then you get into radical equations, and expressions and equations, and extraneous roots, and then you have, generally speaking, in most algebra courses, a data component, right? You're going to learn about frequency charts and averages, mean, median, mode, and basic probability and counting theory. So this is quite a bit of stuff you have to learn in Algebra 1. And what, I've taught all these courses for decades. What I tend to found out or tend to see is that how you do in Algebra 1 is going to affect, pretty much the rest of how it's going to go for your high school, or your prerequisites to get to calculus. Okay, so if you're struggling, let's suppose you're taking pre-calculus or calculus and you're having a tough time, there's a good chance that maybe you didn't do as well in Algebra 1 as you should have done, right? And there's a lot of reasons for it. Maybe you were distracted. Maybe you didn't understand your teacher. But I'm telling you right now, Algebra 1 is an absolutely critical course to master because it really lays the foundations for all the rest of the mathematics you're going to have to learn. Now let's move into geometry. Now high school level geometry is far, when I say geometry, a lot of students are like, oh, you're going to find the area and volume and triangles. Well, high school level geometry is a lot more than that. Okay, do learn a lot, and you have to, really get your geometry down at, when you take a high school level geometry course, because you're not going to see these topics again until you get into, let's say, more advanced math in college. But let's just do a quick overview, right? So in geometry, you're going to be learning a lot about points, lines, planes, all the notations and properties that go with that, okay, which is a lot. Reasoning and proof, that's a big thing in geometry. Deductive reasoning, logic, what's a postulate, what's a theorem, how do you create or write a geometric proof. Another thing is, and this is generally like a chapter in and of itself, is perpendicular and parallel lines. Okay, all the properties and theorems and postulates there, transversals, alternate interior angles, all this stuff. Again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you will learn this, if you want to learn it, you can take my course or another course. But again, this is what you're going to have to learn in high school level geometry. Then you have congruent triangles and a lot about triangles in geometry. And a triangle is just one shape. But you might say, well, why do we just obsess over triangles? Well, triangles are extremely important, and you're going to learn a lot about the properties of triangles, congruent triangles, similar triangles. A lot to learn about triangles. Okay, so another topic you're going to get into is quadrilaterals and polygons. Okay, so that's a four-sided polygon, and there's all different types: trapezoid, rhombus, etc., etc. Probably heard some of these terms. Then you're going to get into similarity. Okay, and that's another big topic that you're going to have to master. Transformations, that has to deal with rotations, dilations, reflections, right? So if you see yourself, in the mirror, right, you're looking at a reflection of yourself. And if you kind of like, take an object and rotate it 90 degrees, what does that object look like? This is what we call transformations, okay? And there's a few different types. And then you're going to get into more stuff about triangles, to include right triangles, special right triangles, which is kind of leads you into basic trigonometry. So you really have an introduction to trigonometry in geometry. Okay, so like things like sine, cosine, tangent. Of course, right triangles, you're going to learn about the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared, etc. So if you're kind of flabbergasted right now, hey, listen, this is a full year course and a lot to cover. Let's go and continue on. You're going to learn a lot about circles, okay? Much more than just finding the area or circumference. You're going to learn about arcs, chords, inscribed angles. There's a lot you need to know about circles. And then finally, you do get into area and volume and sector area, arc length, all this kind of good stuff. So, lots to learn in geometry, okay? So typically, most students are going to take Algebra 1 and geometry in this order. Let's take a look at this right here. You would want to take these courses in this order because in your 11th grade year, you want to have these courses done so you can be ready for tests like the SAT and ACT, which is typically like 50-50 in terms of the algebra and geometry, or maybe like 60-40, a little bit more algebra than geometry on those exams. So we want to get those out of the way, and you can see it's a lot. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at Algebra 2. Are you struggling in math because of confusing lessons? Maybe the teacher's not showing you all the steps you need, or things are happening too fast. Well, there is a better way. So come on over to my math help program at tcmathacademy.com. There you'll find clear step-by-step instruction by me that will definitely make a huge difference in your math success. So make sure to check out all my courses by following the links in the description. Well, in Algebra 2, you're pretty much going to be doing a review of Algebra 1. It's like everything in Algebra 1, which we saw is a lot, you're going to be kind of doing again. Okay, so, it's just more of the same, if you will. But then you're going to be introduced to new and more advanced algebra topics, things like matrices, determinants. Again, if you don't know what these things are, you'll certainly learn them. Another big thing that's generally taught in most Algebra 2 courses is logarithms, which are a part of like exponential functions. That's generally like one chapter. Then you start learning about advanced polynomial theorems, how to solve higher order polynomial equations. So in Algebra 1, you solve things that are like quadratic equations, right? Second degree polynomials. In Algebra 2, advanced polynomial equations, you start looking at like third or fourth or fifth degree polynomial equations, and this is a whole nother kind of step up in advanced algebra. There's a lot to learn there, and a lot of these topics are going to be continued in pre-calculus. You'll see this here in a second. And then you're going to get into sequence and series. You may or may not. It all depends. I would say most Algebra 2 courses will introduce you to sequence and series. We're talking about arithmetic, geometric, infinite geometric sequence and series. And then you will continue on at a higher level to learn more about data, statistics, probability, and the like. Okay, so a pretty big step up from Algebra 1. Okay, but if you didn't do well in Algebra 1, well, guess what? You're going to have another chance to kind of learn it again in Algebra 2. All right, and then you're going to be learning obviously much more advanced stuff. Okay, so let's move on to pre-calculus. So pre-calculus, really is where you're going to get your advanced trigonometry. Okay, and pre-calculus, I would say a good third. 1/3 of the actual course is trigonometry. So you're talking like 3 or 4 chapters of trigonometry, tons of different trigonometric concepts, trigonometric functions, trigonometric identities, polar equations, polar coordinates. This is a big, big deal. Okay, and you're definitely going to need this for calculus. Another big topic that you learn in pre-calculus, and sometimes you can find these in Algebra 2 courses, like Algebra 2 trigonometry. So there is some kind of overlap, all depending on your course. But another concept that you're going to get is what we call conic sections. So these would have to deal with shapes like circles, ellipses, hyperbolas, even parabolas, right? You're saying, oh, I studied parabolas in Algebra 1. Well, not at this level, right? It's much more advanced. So that's conic sections, really, really important stuff. And you're definitely going to get into more sequence and series, okay? Things like the binomial theorem. And, this is a really important topic to understand for calculus. And then some other things that you're going to see. And I'm just kind of breaking this out, permutations, combinations, more probability, solving counting problems. This is important, okay? It's all important, but again, you might have seen some of this in your respective, Algebra 2 courses, and then more advanced algebra, right? Like, a bigger or more intense study of functions, even functions, odd functions, analyzing domain, range, etc. All this stuff you need to know to be successful in algebra. And I'm leaving stuff out here. I'm just kind of highlighting some big picture stuff. And then like advanced systems, all right? So these would be like nonlinear systems or systems in 3 or 4 variables. So how do you deal with those? So again, I'm not including everything. I'm just trying to give you a sense of the kind of continuity between these courses. Okay, so if you're thinking, boy, you want to, get to calculus, well, you're going to have to know all this stuff, right? Everything kind of builds upon itself, and you're going to need it in calculus. So let's take a real fast look at typical first semester of calculus. Now, calculus is broken up in all kinds of different ways. You have Calc 1, you can have Calc 2, you can have Calc 3. All depends on how your college or whatnot might teach it. But most people who might need to just take a basic calculus course, let's say if you're a business major, you don't have to go beyond that. So there's, the more advanced levels of calculus, or like multi-level or multivariable calculus. These are for folks that are going to go on to become engineers, etc. But there is a lot of people, again, have to take just a basic 1 semester of calculus. Okay, so what are some of the main ideas there? Well, I'm just kind of highlighting again some of the things. First thing is like limits. Okay, so it's like the limit of functions where things go to infinity. You're kind of studying the behavior of what happens when a number approaches infinity. This is a really big idea to understand the next topic, okay, in calculus, which is derivatives. And derivatives are extremely important. Derivatives or is basically what makes calculus calculus. It's, it's such a cool concept when you really get it, but it has to deal with rate of change, finding tangent lines, and all this kind of stuff. And you first have to understand the concept of limits, and before all that, you need to have strong algebra and advanced algebra skills and trigonometry skills, okay, because you're going to be using all that in this course, okay. So this is just some of the basic notation that you'll see when you're working with derivatives. And then the other half of a typical calculus course, you'll get into integration. It's this little crazy long symbol like this. It's called like an elongated S, and then it has to deal with finding the area of curves, area and volumes of curves. It would look something like this. I'm just kind of making something up. So this is calculus, but calculus is such an awesome topic because it solves problems that we're unable to solve with just basic geometry and algebra. Okay, you need a new mathematics that really kind of looks at rate of change and everything else like this. But for those of you out there that are thinking about taking calculus, you can be successful in it, all right? But you definitely have to have done pretty well. Not perfect. You don't have to have totally 100% aced pre-calculus to be successful in calculus, but it will definitely help, right? If you didn't do too strong in pre-calculus, suppose you got like a C or C plus, and you have to take calculus for your math class, okay, or your major in college or whatnot, you definitely want to do some review before you get into that calculus course, okay? So, brush up on your math before you take calculus. But anyways, I thought this would be interesting because I know a lot of people out there just they wonder, what kind of math, do you have to take in order to get to this, advanced, mysterious math called calculus. So hopefully this little video was interesting. If that's the case, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you need help with any of these courses, all the way up to pre-calculus, I'm going to leave the direct links in the description below. But with that being said, I definitely wish you all the best in your mathematics adventures. Thank you for your time and have a great day.